Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. It's your Friday. It's my Monday. I'm going to go back, and this is geared more toward the newbies or those that are trying to figure out why we do all this. And to start off, as just before I hit the record button, gold is currently at 33.14.89. Silver is at $36.45. Now, why do we do this? Everybody's got their reasons. Some do it for one reason, some do it for another. They pretty much are kind of the same. But this is, again, like I said, this is for the newbies, or maybe people need a reminder. But this, you can be swimming in a million of these, and you know what? It doesn't mean anything. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. Now this, if the economy tanks, this isn't going to get you anything. And for the real youngsters, and I mean, yes, this was even before my time, and this still isn't real money. Silver, gold, that was real money. Our nation's finances were backed by gold and silver. Heck, our pocket change until 1964 was 90% silver. And then in 1965, everything went to copper and nickel except for the half dollar, which dropped to 40% from 1965 to 1969 in your pocket change, and 1970 in proof sets. And you can still today find uncirculated proof half dollars and Ike dollars. And for you real young people, Ike dollars are the big silver dollars with Dwight Eisenhower on them. And then after that, everything is copper and nickel. Then a lot of people realized that, hey, there was some kind of value in copper, because we all know during the recession in 07, 08, people were breaking into homes under construction to steal the copper piping and steal the wiring. Well, now we're grabbing and putting away all our pre-82 Lincoln cents because they're 95% copper. That's how you stack copper, is your copper pennies. Or if you happen to be in the trades, when you rewire a house, you keep the copper wire. You replumb a house because everything now is that blue and red plastic. So you hoard the copper from the old pipes if they've been replaced since the days of galvanized. But anyway, getting back to this part. Okay. Some very, very, very fractional gold here. These are all sub 1 gram. Oh, there you go. I'm dropping stuff. These are all under a gram. They are very small, to the point where if you weigh all these together and put it in troy ounces, it is 0.0193 troy ounces of gold. All right, whatever. Yeah, you know what? That's nothing. Whatever. Well, doesn't seem like much, but in a pinch, if you had to sell it, you've got $63.97 based on spot price right now. Well, it's $64 more than you had. It's The youngsters, they look at these. Oh, it's a roll of dimes. Okay, it's $5. Well, no, actually, it's not. There is a little over 3.5 ounces of silver in each of these. It's a roll of Rosie dimes and a roll of Mercury dimes. Okay. There is 7.15 ounces of silver in. You guys are like, oh yeah, it's a $10 roll of quarters. No, there's 7.15 ounces of silver in there, and the same with your pre-65 $half. Pre-65 quarters, pre-65. This is all pre-65 right here. Okay, that's 21.45 ounces of silver. And let me see, what are we sitting there? That's $781.85 worth of silver right there. Here we go. Another one. Oh, look at this. Oh, well, yeah, okay. It's a coin. It says, "In God We Trust." You know, it must be an American coin. And oh, wait a minute. What does it say on the back, on the reverse here? Oh, $1. No. Silver price again, 36.45. There's 4 of them there. And let's see here. We've got and there, that's 1 ounce of silver in each coin. And you got 1 ounce of silver in each one of these $5 Canadian silver maples. Oh, it's $30. No. You've got 10 ounces of silver there. That's more like $364.50. And you got these guys. Well, they don't have a dollar amount on them. What are these? Well, these are your generic rounds. Okay. They don't have a dollar amount on them. Actually, wait a minute. I think the one might. Actually, 2 of them do. But generic silver rounds, still an ounce of silver, 36.45 a piece. There's 3 of those. Then we've got this guy here. These are both coins. They have dollar amounts on them, but still an ounce of silver, 36.45 a piece. That's part of the reason why we stack, because your economy could go to total crap. You still got the silver. And silver's worth, I know it doesn't make sense. Silver and gold, hey, they're worth more than money. Are you going to get rich doing this? Heck no. Not going to happen. That's not why we do it. We do this to as an insurance policy. You know, back in the day, we had this thing, and the older folks in the room will tell you we had these things called pensions. And then our employers didn't want the responsibility for our retirement. So they came up with this 401k, 403b garbage, which you may or may not have a retirement when it comes time to hang it up. Depends on the stock market, depends on the economy. If the stock market tanks, kiss your retirement goodbye nowadays. Then we do this. You use it as a savings account. Something to leave for the next generation. Now, when my number gets called, it's all going to my son. He can add it to his because he's started stacking too. He's, very aware of the reality of the world we live in, where Social Security may not be there. I'm very adamant about, and it has nothing to do with who's in office. It's the government in general. The biggest lie ever told to the American people is we're from the government and we're here to help. Bullcrap. They're for themselves, not you. As long as they can line their pockets and they can be comfortable, because you have some of these people that have been in office for generations, and they decide to hang it up, not run for re-election. They're set for life. They've got premium health care until the day they die. They're getting a paycheck till the day they die. And somehow these people that are only supposed to be making not much more than what I make a year are millionaires. So you know where that's coming from. They're getting their, they're doing what they got to do for them. They're not doing for you. So we're stacking. We're putting stuff away. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have some of this in the house, but take my word for it, this is not worth the paper it's printed on. My good friend World Money Wins has said it before, and I may screw it up. He can correct me if I don't say it quite right. This is a note of debt. Our economy runs, it's based on our debt, and they're trying to bring down our debt, bring the dollar back up, but then you've got the other side that isn't happy unless our country is on the verge of another depression, which is not far from happening. You could wake up tomorrow and you can't access your money in the bank because the banks have all crashed. They're all closed. They're going into protective mode. You can't put gas in your car. You can't get groceries. You can't get diapers for your baby. You can't get formula. You can't get anything because it's a piece of paper. What do you want me to do with this? It's a piece of paper. It's a worthless piece of paper. So that is why we do what we do. Now, as I preach all the time, stack what you can afford. Make sure that you feed yourself, you clothe yourself, you shelter yourself, you have your medications that you need to get through life. And as much as I hate big pharma, some of the stuff is necessary, and you have to do that. And that's why I push, if you can only walk into a LCS or wherever and pick up $1 worth of $50 or a couple of dimes or a quarter, or maybe you're fortunate enough, you can pick up a 1 ounce sovereign coin or a 1 ounce silver round, each payday, or the first or third of the month when you get your check. It's more than you had when you woke up that morning. So hopefully that explains it to some of the newbies and the people that don't understand why we do what we do. It's a savings account. It's a hedge against inflation. Insurance policy. Something to leave the next generation. So, all right, everybody. Sorry if it seemed like I was, beating my fist and preaching, but that's just, it's too many people nowadays, the younger generation, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody. It's the way it is. Walk around with blinders on. They're like this. That's all they see. They don't see what's out here. They're told what to think. They're told what to, in school. They're told what to believe in school. If it's something to, regardless of what the point is, if, we can raise a banner and wave signs and, be against something, we're going to be against it, even if it's good for us, good for our country. We would rather have all of our rights taken away and be treated, or basically our country turned into a communist country, as opposed to having somebody who's trying to put money back in our pockets and food back in our refrigerators and people back to work. We don't want that. We want everybody on welfare. We want the people that are perfectly capable of working. We want them to be able to sit at home and collect thousands of dollars and get free health care paid for by people that have to buy their own insurance and then can't afford to go to the doctor. I got 15 babies by 15 different daddies, and I'm sitting at home living off the government, living off the taxpayers. That the younger generation needs to open their eyes and see the big picture, because those of us that have been around for a minute, and I know I've got followers older than me, but we've seen things. We've seen how the world works. These kids, we have to educate them on the reality that they're not being taught about in school. So, all right, my rant's over. I know it's kind of a Mishy meltdown, but just video today about just reality. And in that reality, I say it every day at the end of my videos. I'm going to say it now. Keep stacking. Keep hunting. Stack what you like. Stack what you can afford. And we will see you in the next one. Have a great Friday, everybody. Have a great weekend. Mishy is out.